Hello, Gary Simon here of DesignCourse.com. Today is February 10th, and we're going to continue on in Photoshop, finishing up the design for the gamer user interface. So, as always, check out DesignCourse.com. Subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't yet. All right, let's get started. All right, so let me go ahead and just get a little bit more in depth with this and maybe a little bit more detail. So, one thing I want to do is go ahead and take these two layers right here, and I'm going to flatten them. So Control E will do that. All right, and then I'm going to duplicate them, Control Shift D, and I'm going to stick this at the bottom here, or beneath it. And just kind of move it to the left a little bit. And then I could take this one as well. And with the rectangular marquee tool, just kind of select this right portion of it. Take the move tool and then move that out as well. Holding Shift. All right. You know what? That's not even. Like, this one's out a little bit further, so that doesn't look correct. So what I'll just do, you know what? I'll just take this whole thing and just right around there, delete it, and then duplicate it, Control Shift D, edit, transform, flip horizontal. Just kind of use Shift, and that way we know we're even, using the arrow keys to get it aligned. And then what I want to do, we'll take both of those, by the way, and merge them, Control E. All right, so now they're on their own layer. I want to take the brush tool, and I think 85 will probably work well. And then just hold Shift and just go down vertically. Right click, make sure that is a clipping mask. Wait, what am I doing? I didn't put it on its own layer. Sorry about that. Control Shift N for a new layer. Make that a clipping mask, and then try it again. I think that's a little bit too much over, so I can just like come around here, hold Shift, and that way it's straight and vertical. Same thing down there. All right, so it kind of gives us, a little bit more of a feeling that that thing is 3D. All right, so now what I want to do is kind of create some like flares or something. I don't know how to really to describe it otherwise. So what we'll do is, all right, we'll create a new layer. Control Shift N. And what is that metal? Okay, so we want this to be, right here in the middle between this and this. So we'll just call this flare. And we'll take the paintbrush tool and make the size, maybe right around here. I think 260 would work. And we'll make our foreground white and just click once. Control T, Alt, and scale that thing down roughly right around there. And if you want maybe a little bit longer, holding Alt. All right. Select the Move tool, hit Apply. And we'll just delete this portion. And you can get this kind of centered vertically. And then I'm going to duplicate that. Control T, hold Alt, and also scaled out a little bit more so in that direction. And delete that portion. So now we have like this thing, and we could probably take down the opacity a little bit. So now we have like this thin thing in the middle. You could play around with it. It doesn't have to be specific to what I'm doing. Let's create, we can merge those. So Control E, create a new layer. We'll call this Glow. Take our paintbrush tool, and this time we're going to use like a blue right around here. Try to get that centered there. And delete this inner portion. I think we probably put that beneath. Yeah, that'll work. Also, real quickly, I'm going to get a new layer just above the background layer, and hit OK. We're going to go to, okay, first I'm going to take the foreground, make it like a darker sort of blue, and then go to Filter, Render, Clouds. All right, so we could probably take the opacity down a little bit, or quite a bit actually, and that way we just kind of have like a texture to work with back there. And let's see here. Take this glow here. Yeah. Maybe take the opacity, and you can always just create new layers and just experiment with different colors. So I want this to be a little bit more of a lighter blue color. Maybe take the size down on this one a little bit more so it's brighter in the center. Click right there. Get rid of that. And that just kind of creates a cool little effect here. I mean, I don't know why there would be light spewing out from the left of this thing. But because we can, we will, right? It makes it look cool. So now what we're going to do, we're going to leave this on its own layer. Layer 4, we'll just call this Glow 2. Well, whatever. That's that middle one. Yeah, these can all, I think, be on their own separate layer. And the reason I'm keeping them, I'm paying attention to the layers here, is because when we go to export these images for use within After Effects, then, the more layers we have, the more things that are separated out, the more it'll allow you to basically create a really cool animation that's kind of intricate. The more things are all stuck on one layer, it limits your ability to, play around and make it look cool. So this is on its own layer. What else is, these things, they can probably going to shoot out from the side when it's kind of constructing itself. These things and this thing. Yeah. All right. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take, those 3 layers, group them up, and duplicate it. Control-Shift-D. Go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal, move it over. Basically the same thing. And let me think. Also another thing I wanted to note is you could probably do some real cool stuff. Like if your intention wasn't to animate this stuff and you just kind of wanted to show a cool picture or something, you can always play around with, like, let me see, like this glow right here with the layer blend modes. And you can really create some just cool effects just by using your down arrow key and just kind of playing with them. But the problem is when you have blend modes and then you try to save it, it usually doesn't save the blend mode. So it just goes to normal. That's why I'm doing that. It still looks cool. All right. So let's see here. What else do I want to do? Let's work with this inner portion right here. So let us go just above this cloud layer and create a new layer. And select the rectangle tool. Color right now doesn't matter. And we're just going to go just outside of the viewable portion of this inner screen area. And I want it to be black. All right. Cool. What else do I want to do? Let's see here. We can create, let's call this screen, by the way. Create a new layer, Control-Shift-N, make it a clipping mask. So anything that goes in here is only displayed in there. Let's see here. Well, not yet. Let's double click on this portion, the screen, and maybe do a gradient overlay. And we'll take the gradient editor and we'll make this one black and this one maybe just barely blue. And you could play around with these color picker things and really create interesting sorts of designs. Let's see here. Maybe right around there, hit OK. And then what else? We can do an inner shadow. No, inner glow. Take the blend mode to normal. And just so we could see it, You could take that size up quite a bit. Maybe change that to black for the color. And you could change the choke too, so that, you know, it goes from a fade to like a hard sort of glow. And yeah, maybe right around there is fine. All right, hit OK. Looking cool so far. All right, so let's go ahead and put some text in here. I'm going to go up to the top, create a new layer. And with the type tool, left click and drag right around here. And then make sure this is centered. And we'll type in, you know, whatever you want to type in. I'm just going to put Troll Level Expert 100K. I don't even know what that means, but whatever. All right, so we want to make sure this is centered vertically here. And let me take make sure anti-aliasing is smooth. Let's take the size up quite a bit, not that much. The color, right around there. The font, you know, you can use whatever you want. You could use like a digital type of font if you wanted to go and find one of those, maybe at like a site like dafont.com. I'm going to use something called Trade Gothic. This is just a font that I paid for, but you don't have to use it, obviously. I kind of just like it, so let me scale that down right around there. And if you want to, you can double click on the right side of that layer and go to outer glow and yeah, make it like a blue if you want. And you can see how this affects sort of, you know, how it glows a little bit. Kind of creates a cool type of image. Hit OK. And let's see, what else do I want to do? I could, we can create a ton of horizontal lines in here, kind of to give it like a TV effect. So we can do that real quick. Come back down here to the screen, and we never put anything in that layer right here, so we'll just use that. And take the line tool. The color right now doesn't matter. Just hold shift and just go out to that distance. Control H, it gets rid of it. And I think we have to go back here. Change that again. And now what you want to do is just take that shape layer, duplicate it. Use your up arrow twice. So just hit up twice. That puts it up 2 pixels. Take those two, hit Control E. And let's zoom up here to 100%. And just keep on doing that. And real quickly, you'll get to the point where, yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, you know what? I screwed up initially, so I'm going to go back. There we go. They weren't even there. So I'm just duplicating these things, trying to make sure they remain even like that. Control E. Duplicate. Duplicate. Select both of them. Control E. Duplicate one more time. That's all we're going to need. And duplicate, or merge rather. And all right, so now what we can do is just go to, let me zoom out a little bit. Actually, no, I'll leave it right here. Now what we can do is, you know, kind of experiment with the opacity. And that looks cool, I think right there. That's only at about 12% opacity. So zoom out here, just kind of see everything. All right. Okay, so just trying to think if there's anything else I could possibly screw around with. Yeah, there is. Okay, so I'm gonna call this clouds or cloud or whatever. Control Shift N, a new layer. We're going to take the paintbrush tool, maybe go up around around 400 pixels. No, I want to go bigger. All right, so let's try like 600. And not quite 600. Let's try 500. Right around there. And yeah, right around there. And so, the idea behind this now is, we created kind of like a final static, obviously nothing animates yet, view of what we want this thing to look like after it comes in and it animates in After Effects. So it's going to be real cool, I hope at least. All right, so I think we're going to end it there. And then tomorrow we're going to go ahead and start getting this thing ready. We're going to export these images and start animating it in After Effects. All right, so as always, check out designcourse.com and subscribe here, damn it, if you haven't yet already on YouTube. All right, goodbye.